All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. Tonight, we'll, for the agenda, we will have the normal call to order, our flag salute, then some announcements. And then we have a special guest from the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center. Dorothy the Dixon Duck is here to tell us a little bit about Samuel Dixon and about the Rubber Ducky Regatta. Next, I would like to apologize a little bit. Tony Cardenas was unfortunately called away, and he won't be able to be here tonight. But to keep it in the family and to make Richard happy, because Richard said he was the first person on this planet, so he should get to talk first. We're going to have Richard come up and talk a little bit about the Canyon Country Summer Bash. Then we're going to talk about Lemley Theater Project. The Lemley Theater Project is in Newhall. It is an expenditure that is in the neighborhood of $13 million. And so we ought to really be educated about what this means and make a conscious decision whether or not we support or oppose it. Next, we said that we would be talking a little bit about the budgets. And so I went through the Capital Improvement Program, Santa Clarita Capital Improvement Program, and I'll give you some highlights from that so you'll kind of get an idea of what kind of projects are being thought about in the city. And when that's all done, if we still have time, we'll talk about what the city of Santa Clarita is doing about the drought, if anything. Then our version of public participation, which is the first 5 people for 1 minute to talk about anything that they might not like, they may like. Then our preview of next meetings, and we'll adjourn the meeting promptly at 9 o'clock. So right for the first part, this is the last meeting we're going to have before September 11th. You can see that tattered flag. This is a story I tell a lot, so some of you may have already heard it. That's the flag that's flying over my house right now. It went up on that flagpole on September the 11th, 2014, and it will come down and be replaced on September the 11th, 2015. I was one of those kind of people on 2011 and 2001 that put a flag out on holidays and so forth, and I decided on that day that a flag should fly over my house every day of the year, and it does. And as that flag sits up there for the whole year, it becomes tattered and torn. And for me, it's a constant reminder of the trials, tribulations that our men and women in uniform go through throughout the year. Now, at the end of the year, when the flag comes down, I don't retire them. I fold them and give them a place of honor. And on the 10th year anniversary of 2011, I displayed all 10 flags. And at some point, I'm going to do this again, whether it be this year or next. I have every one of those flags, and we'll put them out for display. But it's something that I believe we should remember and think about every year, every day of the year. So with that, Judy, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. I don't really have many announcements today, but I did see something that I thought was of interest, and that had to be about a gentleman who, on June of 26th of 2012, Drake was honored by the city of Santa Clarita as receiving his Eagle Scout certificate, and also for helping out planning and fundraising for the Central Park Fitness Program. And they were really talking about this guy as a real asset to the community. And then on August the 3rd, on 2015, in the Signal report, it said, "Hooray for Drake," for the little libraries that he's been building in and around Santa Clarita. Tiny libraries pop up all over the valley. I can hardly see how and why Drake was named an Eagle Scout at such a young age. So it was very interesting. Everybody there at the city was inspired that Drake was this really great guy. Drake is an inspiration to others, built in his high school and throughout the valley as he would and his world. So they're saying bravo for Drake. Well, on a little later, on August the what is that, the 16th? The Signal came out with another article and talked about his little libraries. New chapter for little libraries. And now the city is saying about them that he didn't have a building permit. That they're on city property and he doesn't have a building permit. And so Gail, our spokesperson, who always seems to have her foot where it doesn't belong, said it would be great to see his project continue somewhere else. But they wanted us to know that the city of Santa Rita has never cracked down on a lemonade stand, for whatever that means. But I would have thought they could have done that a little better. For the little libraries, there's a group that is getting together on Facebook and who have commented on these articles in the Signal, and they will be speaking about this issue at the next Arts Commission meeting. That'll be held on September the 10th, 2015 at City Hall. And so if you do a little research about Drake and you want to talk about it, that would be a good time to go visit the Arts Commission. Last Friday of the month, as just another reminder at Hart Park, they have movies outside. And we were going to remind you about the Rubber Ducky Regatta, but I'm going to just slide through this because we have a very special duck that's go. Where'd the duck go? The duck was sitting down. All right. I just want to make sure he didn't sink. So we'll be back here. Remember, there will be, even after they leave, there will be some Rubber Ducky Festival holders back there where you can adopt a duck and at the same time help us a little bit because we're one of their fundraisers. So for every duck you adopt, well, $1 comes back to help us. So it kind of helps us both. As far as attendance is concerned, it was kind of level for the last few months. Video statistics, we had one video that had 73 views, and I can't remember which one it was. I was supposed to go back and look at that, and I can't remember. But anyway, that's a good number. Sounds that people are watching. We have any public participants this evening? Well, Mr. Fraser, come on up.
Okay, the latest on the manufactured homes is 2 days ago, Monday night, we had a meeting that went bust. It ended up not having a quorum, so it just became a informal discussion. City's planning another meeting. I'll keep you informed. I got a couple email addresses, so anybody wants to give me an email address, I'll send them out. The CPI for July came out this morning. It is a 1.4% change from last year, from July to July. That means that the city's rent control situation is that the manufactured home landowners are only going to be entitled to a 1.4% increase, which is a fairly good number. I'm glad it's up there, but it's not too far up. This will mean that the landowners will send out a letter and increase our rent for next year at 1.4%, which is an average. So it will also point out which landowners are going to try to increase their rent with justification above the 1.4%. We'll see who's greedy and who just complies with the rules. So that'll be interesting. Stay tuned. I'll keep you informed. Any questions?
I'm not clear on this. I wasn't present for other meetings.
Okay.
About manufactured home across the entire Santa Cruz Valley.
There's 16 communities in the city limits. There's a couple that aren't in the city limits that aren't controlled by this ordinance. But we've been fighting the city because they used to guarantee a 3% floor. So even if the CPI was 1%, we would get an inflated 3% raise. So last 2 years we've been fighting the city, and they finally decided to lower the floor to 0. So any CPI will be the exact rent increase, no more of a 3% guarantee.
And what is a CPI?
The Consumer Price Index, yeah. And that came out this morning at an index of 1.4%. So that's the number that will be used for next January's rent increase.
Hi, my name is Bobby Constantine, and I live at Oak Creek Condos in Newhall. And we came to your meeting today because we heard that you guys are very supportive of community things that are happening, and we're very unhappy with what's going on in our neighborhood, and that's why 3 of us came today. We're board members at the Oak Creek Condos. They're planning on building a low-income housing right next door to us. It's now it was a park and ride, and now the city owns it. And currently there's 150 parking spaces in that park and ride, and 180 cars parked there. There's people that are parked illegally. There's campers that are parked there that people are living in. And we had a special meeting with the Planning Commission, and to say the least, they really didn't give a crap about us and what was going on. Anyway, in 2011, this came across the city council that they were going to build this, and then it got defunct by what Alan was talking about the redevelopment plan. And all of a sudden, we found out, oh, it's getting built. They never informed us. They never called us. They never legally sent us a letter to tell us that this was going to be getting built. So we're pretty upset about it, and we would love your support in fighting this. Thank you.
Okay, we'll bring you more information about that as well. That has to do with items that occurred with the redevelopment agency, with the North Newhall specific plan, and so we'll air more of those things and why it's the wrong thing to build at this time before the promised parking structures have been built. So we'll be talking about that some more. Just you might have noticed our normal guru of the cameras, Mr. Greg Gruenenstein, that was not here tonight. His wife was in the hospital and had surgery, and we wish her well, and I'm sure we all pray for her speedy return. In our future meetings, I didn't really have much, but I know that in October, we're going to try to do a school board election forum. We've never really done that before, but we're going to look to see if we can, now that the Hart School Board is in districts, this particular district that we're in has a contested election, and that's with Steve Sturgeon, and does anybody remember the other gentleman's name? Who? Andrew Tabin. And so we're going to see if we can get a hold of both of them in our normal meet and greet style, where they'll be able to introduce themselves and ask questions from the floor, so that we can see how make a good decision about who to vote for. So I want to thank you all very much for choosing to come to the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. I hope that we've given you information that has been helpful to you, and maybe even giving you a little chuckle now and then. And we hope to see you again next month. So thank you very much.